Happy Father's Day, everybody. Since I told a story on Mother's Day, it's only fitting that I share something on Father's Day as well. And today, we're talking about my dad, Kevin Roberts. If you know him, he plays piano. He has a distinct walk. He has a distinct sit. I noticed this as I got a little bit older that my grandfather, Dad's dad, and my dad and I all sit the same way. You pick up on these things, and you'll just have to pay attention when you see me sometime. But I noticed it even this morning in church. I positioned myself in the seat in just a certain way that I could cross one knee over the other knee, and it fits right up in the pocket behind the other knee, and there's a relaxed posture to that. And a lot of people tell me, oh, I couldn't sit like that. That would be uncomfortable. Papaw sat that way. Dad sat that way, still sits that way, and I do too. I would say one of the biggest things that I have picked up from my dad is an attitude that I can do anything. And sometimes that's good, and sometimes it's not as good. Sometimes it's funny. I remember when I was little, my dad bought me a jigsaw puzzle, and I think we have these events in life, these moments in life that are really insignificant in the moment, and they turn out to be life-changing. They shape who we are. That puzzle was one of those for me. And it was just a little, maybe 6-inch by 6-inch kind of puzzle. But Dad explained to me, Zach, this is your first puzzle, and after you've worked it, I'll get you another one. And he said, you just need to start on the outside, always do the border first, and work your way in. It's just like life. That's excellent advice. That's excellent shaping of a child. Rather than trying to eat the whole elephant, you've heard this, you eat one bite at a time. And so the same with the puzzle. You start at the outside, work your way in. Find the border pieces. My dad has a very, I bet we could do that. We used to joke because it seemed like for years he would say, I bet I could make that out of rough lumber. And eventually I had to start stepping in and saying, Dad, you can't make that out of rough lumber. You gotta back off on this. One of the funniest things that comes to mind is, I don't know where he got them, but my dad owned 2 Toyota Corollas back to back. And I think he got one for $300. He'll correct me if that's not right. But he got this Toyota Corolla somewhere, and it was uglier than homemade sin. And I don't know how old I was. I'm guessing late elementary school. And especially at that age, I'm starting to realize what wealth looks like, what it looks like to have the way other people have or not have the way other people have. And it was not cool to drive a rust red colored Toyota Corolla from, I don't even know how old it was. It was years and years old. Whatever paint was on it was a homemade DIY job. It was kind of a matte colored finish. And I said, Dad, this is awful. He said, Zach, we don't care do she shine, we care do she run. That's not the worst of it, though. My dad bought a couple of sheep, and because his vehicle at the time was a Toyota Corolla, how did we haul those sheep? Dad took the back seat out of that Toyota Corolla. And we drove through Newtown in Wayne with those sheep in the back, and I was so embarrassed. Oh, I just slunk down in the seat because I didn't want to be in the car to begin with, let alone with sheep in the back. What is the point of all of this? I am that person now. I have pushed, shoved, dragged, mashed things into my car that didn't fit, hauled them all across the country, Connecticut to North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, West Virginia, Virginia, Ohio, you name it. And it's this, I'm going to do it or die trying attitude. I definitely picked that up. I think that's actually a collection from family members. I've got several family members who have that attitude. But Dad told me early I remember being really, really young and my dad saying, "You need to have an opinion and you need to know how to back it up." And I think sometimes he may have regretted telling me that because I've had opinions he didn't particularly love or agree with. But on the whole, I think that served me well. I I like to think of myself as a thoughtful person. Somebody, and by thoughtful, I don't mean considerate. Like I'm thoughtful about other people's feelings. I hope I'm that. But more so, I am a thought-filled person. I think a lot. And I don't just rush in with emotions and opinions that are rooted in nothing. I like to think that my opinions are rooted in something that has some steel and concrete underneath it. And if I don't have an opinion that's based on those things, I'm hesitant to share it. I think the world is full of opinions. And if you're going to share yours, you should be adding something rather than just noise. My dad is musical also, and a lot of people would probably know him for that. I know Nan tells the story and has my whole life about how Dad sang for the Woman's Club one time when he was really little. And the ladies, you can just imagine, it like a Mayberry sort of situation. The little ladies gather and they had their meeting. And my dad sang when he was a little boy one time for the ladies' meeting. And they said, "Oh, Kevin, you didn't seem nervous at all." And he said, "Well, I figure this time tomorrow it'll all be over." There's some wisdom in that. I know there's another story of my dad. We were in a truck driving up German Ridge, and the truck ran out of gas. And I was flipping out in the passenger seat, and he kept milking it. Like he could just get it started just a little bit till we got to the top of German Ridge, and then we coasted all the way down until we got to Speedway and just slid gently in and pulled up there to the gas pumps and got gas. And I said, "You seem so calm over that." He said, "I figured there wasn't any need in getting excited until there was a need to get excited." There's some wisdom in that too. Anyhow, and that's something my dad does too. After you've talked for a while, his segue from one thing to the next is, anyhow. Anyhow, I hope you all are having a good Father's Day. Call Dad. Call your dad. I mean, you could call my dad. I already have. But call your dad if he doesn't live nearby. Or go see him. Eat something. Drink something. Take a walk. Make a memory. My dad, probably one of the big contributions from my dad has been playing piano. And so I'll sit down here in a minute and play piano a little bit and think about Dad. Hope you have a good day. Lots of love. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.